Hi, I'm Jay Turo, CEO of GT Securities, the #1 broker-dealer platform for independent investment bankers. One question I'm asked fairly often is this: what modalities or working styles do our highest performing bankers tend to use in order to maximize both client outcomes and their own economic results? Over time, I've observed 4 common approaches. None of them is inherently better than the others. But the bankers who are most intentional about choosing and executing one of these modalities tend to see the strongest and most consistent results. Let's walk through them. The first modality is business development or sourcing. This approach is best suited for bankers who have a strong sales orientation. These are professionals who think of themselves primarily as originators, people who source deals, build relationships, and bring opportunities into the system. In this model, the banker focuses on finding prospects, developing trust, pitching for mandates, and then partnering or collaborating with other bankers to help execute the transaction. In many ways, this is the traditional structure you see at large investment banks, where you have a hierarchy from managing directors down to vice presidents, associates, and analysts. The senior banker focuses on relationships and mandates, while the team supports execution. Interestingly, on independent platforms like ours, this pure sourcing role is not nearly as common as you might expect. Many independent bankers try to do everything themselves. In my view, that represents a missed opportunity. For bankers whose results haven't been where they'd like them to be, a shift toward a more focused sourcing role, where they lean into their strengths in relationship building and mandate generation, can be a very powerful strategic pivot. The second modality is execution excellence. This is the natural complement to the sourcing role. In this modality, a banker specializes in the execution side of the business, developing materials, managing investor or acquirer outreach, coordinating due diligence, and handling the day-to-day mechanics of getting a deal across the finish line. Again, this mirrors how larger investment banks operate, with clear divisions between the people who originate mandates and the people who execute them. Many of GT Securities' top-performing bankers operate within long-term seller-doer partnerships, relationships where one banker focuses on sourcing and the other on execution. These partnerships can become incredibly productive over time. They build rhythm, trust, and efficiency, and they often produce strong client outcomes and consistent transaction success year after year. The third modality is what I call the one-stop shop. This is probably the single biggest reason why many clients choose to work with independent boutique bankers in the first place. In this model, the banker is the relationship. The client is hiring that specific individual, not a firm, not a brand, and not a team they may or may not ever meet. The implicit message is, you are hiring me. I will be your advisor from start to finish. You will not be handed off to someone less experienced or less committed to your success. That level of personal accountability and continuity can be incredibly attractive to clients, especially founders and owner-operators. And there's another obvious benefit. In a true one-stop shop model, the banker keeps the full economic outcome of the engagement. However, there is one major pitfall to watch for, which is stagnation. The independent model can sometimes be isolating. Without regular interaction with professional colleagues, without idea sharing, best practices, and a certain level of peer accountability, it's possible for skills and sharpness to slowly atrophy. And in a hyper-competitive business like investment banking, even a small decline in edge or energy can become disqualifying over time. So bankers operating in this modality need to be especially intentional about staying connected, learning, and sharpening their craft. The fourth modality is leveraging professional adjacencies. This is something I'm seeing more and more of across the independent banking landscape. In this approach, bankers expand their impact by operating in adjacent professional roles, such as serving as a general partner in a private equity or venture fund, managing a family office, acting as an independent sponsor, serving on boards or advisory boards, working as an outsourced CFO, or functioning as a private wealth advisor. These adjacent roles can create significant benefits. They can generate ancillary and more predictable revenue streams. They can provide equity upside, and they can dramatically expand the banker's network into something more active, more actionable, and more transaction-oriented. Of course, this approach requires careful attention to compliance and potential conflicts of interest. When you're wearing multiple hats, you have to be very thoughtful about disclosures, roles, and responsibilities. But when handled properly, the ability to operate across multiple professional lanes can be a major competitive advantage of independent platforms like GT Securities, especially with more flexible outside business activity structures. So when you look at these 4 modalities, sourcing, execution, one-stop shop, and professional adjacencies, there's an important takeaway. which is that top-performing bankers tend to be very intentional about how they position themselves. They know their strength, they know their preferred working style, and they build their business model around that. If your results haven't been exactly where you'd like them to be, it may be worth stepping back and asking a simple question. Which modality am I really operating in today? And is it the one that best fits my strengths and goals? A thoughtful refocus around one of these approaches can often unlock new momentum, better client outcomes, and stronger economic results. Sometimes a small strategic shift in how you work can make a very big difference in what you earn.